Well, our next topic is one that, frankly, we've had a lot of fun debating this winter and this fall. Can you afford to fertilize your farm?
Yeah, and my answer most of the fall has been you can't even afford to put P and K out there, phosphorus and potassium I'm talking about. But there are some things that you've been able to afford to do even when the prices were really high. I want to talk about that just a second. Then we'll hammer into this P and K discussion.
Well, you know, what's really fun is when you're farming with your brother, there's certainly going to be some things that you both agree on, and there's going to be some things that you say, I don't know, you can't really get Brian to loosen the purse strings a little bit and spend some of his moldy money over there on some good fertilizer for the farm. But
it has nothing to do with that. It totally has to do with return on investment.
It forces some discipline too.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't care if I had $1 to my name or if I had $1 million to my name. All you should care about on your farm is this going to make me money or is it not? And what I'm saying is, like with nitrogen, for example, let's say that I'm going for 200 bushel corn in soybean ground. I need roughly 180 pounds of actual nitrogen to get to that 200 bushel corn. To get that 180 units of nitrogen I need, it'll cost me roughly $70 an acre on our farm, whereas when the price was super high, it would have been, what, $160 an acre, something like that.
Which is exactly what I was getting to, because you know what? Sometimes you've got a disagreement, but it forces a little bit of discipline when you say, you know what? When we run the numbers, we can't get a return on that until the price falls to here. So we've got to sit and wait for that price to hit. And it'd be great if everybody around the country ran the same analysis, because we wouldn't have had $1,200 phosphate. Okay, well, nitrogen's one thing, and I think we both agree you absolutely need some nitrogen.
Have to do that.
But when it comes to the P and K,
wait,
that's where
no, I'm not even ready to go to P and K yet because I got sulfur and micronutrients.
You want all the slam dunks first, don't you?
I do. Well,
well, okay, sulfur. It doesn't take that much sulfur.
And it doesn't take much micronutrients. I mean, just a few pounds to the acre, and you've got enough sulfur and micronutrients. That's my whole point. For probably $15 an acre or less, you could get all the sulfur you need and the micronutrients you need for 200 bushel corn. That, in my book, is worth it because it's going to make your nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium more efficient in the plant too. So I just still think that even though prices went up a little bit on those things, they didn't go up nearly to the level P and K did. Put some sulfur and some micronutrients out there if you need them. All right, now
okay, I can agree with you on that too. But the P and K is where we've really had the fuss on our farm this fall. Let's talk about the potash first. The potassium is still ridiculously priced, and I don't understand it. I do not understand how you can charge $900 a ton for potash and expect farmers to use it. I mean, eventually you're going to run into a wall where if I don't put any potash out there ever, certainly your yields are going to fall off the end of the cliff. But to say I can skip 1 year and hopefully potash prices come back in line, I think that makes sense. And I think we're really at the high end of the price schedule. If potash is $2,000 a ton, who's going to use it?
Yeah.
The phosphorus thing too has been really interesting because this fall it was as high as $1,200 to $1,400 a ton in some areas, and all of a sudden once you hit about the last part of November, first part of December, those prices just started dropping big time because farmers just like us said no. We can't do that. That's just too much money to ask for phosphorus. And the prices dropped literally overnight, hundreds of dollars at a time.
Yeah, we're down probably $500, $550 a ton now for phosphorus, and it was $1,200 to $1,400. So we don't have time today to get into every last thing and every last scenario. All we're telling you is make sure you're getting a good buy in your fertilizer if you still have some to buy. If it was me, I really don't know if I would prepay fertilizer. It's coming down. I think it might come down more, but nobody knows. So I can't sit here and tell you absolutely do this or don't do this. All we want you to get out of this whole discussion today is run the numbers yourself on your farm, run return on investments. And again, doesn't matter if you have $1 in the bank or you have $1 million in the bank. That should be completely out of the discussion. You've got to look at, will this give me a return on investment?
Yep, and the other two things is buy it cheap. When prices are falling, you can buy fertilizer on the wholesale market much cheaper than you can buy it through the normal fertilizer chain because there aren't big inventories of high-priced stuff that you have to pay for. The other side is, for efficiency's sake, we really like to ban fertilizer so we can extract most of it this spring or this summer.
Well, that was a really complicated discussion. Fortunately, talking about our Weed of the Week is a lot easier. The Weed of the Week is coming up next.